Hello, I'm Shannon O'Hara and welcome back to Children and Entities, and this is the second video. Hopefully you've seen the first video. You're going to need that information. Would you like to know how to deal with entities, especially with your children, better? So in the first video I talked about how the change in the household, if you've got children who are saying they see entities and are behaving like they're really afraid of it and not able to deal with it well, so on and so forth, the change in the household really has to start with you. You're the leader of what's going to be okay in the household and what's not going to be okay in the household. And so you have to start with what's your foundational point of view about entity awareness to start with, okay? So once you recognize that you're going to set the pitch for what either you and your children are going to discover about entity awareness or what you and your children are never going to discover about entity awareness. And I'm really fortunate because I was raised by two parents who never really made me wrong. I was one of those children that, you know, I was in reaction a lot to entity awareness, and I was never made wrong. I actually slept in my parents' bedroom on the floor till I was like 12 years old, and I'm almost embarrassed to admit it because, you know, I stand today for a lot of sort of entity positive capabilities. And that's what Talk to the Entities is. And these videos are for those of you guys that want to be able to have a different time with your kids and empower your children to know what they know and come out of fear. But that has to start with you. So if you've got a child who is indicating like, I see something, or there's something in my closet, or there's something under my bed, or they wake up crying because there's some old lady talking to them, like it shows up in so many different ways. Number one, you cannot freak out yourself. That is the most important, okay? If your children come to you with stuff, you've actually got to look at, okay, so what are they aware of? You might not know how to deal with it yet, but you want to start with this question. What is my child aware of? What tool can we use to address this? So that's what the tools of Talk to the Entities are all about. It's these extremely practical tools that work incredibly well to clear entities, transform what's going on in the dynamic of why entities are showing up. And so with your children, what I recommend first and foremost is that you guys learn how to clear entities together. And why I say together is because it's not about you doing it for them. It's really about, number one, you learning and being inspired by your children's awareness, you learning, and then also teaching your children these dynamic tools. So entity clearing, who are you? Who were you before that? Who were you before that? Who were you before that? Who are you before that? Who will you be in the future? Is part of the entity clearings. Also, beginning to communicate in that, okay, so like, what are you doing here, right? So talking to the ghosts, like, what are you doing here? Are you aware you're scaring my children, you know? Teach your children how to address entities. What if talking to entities wasn't crazy? What if ignoring entities and pretending like they're not there and saying that you're making stuff up, what if that's actually insane?